So I got the pull start rewind here replaced on my generator, so now I'm back in business. It's working again. But you can see what happened to the old one. This cord just shriveled and snapped. Well, the problem with that is this design. You see, when you pull on the pull cord, all this stuff here is in the way, so you can't pull the cord directly out the way that would make sense. You have to pull it off to the side here. Well, as you can see, as I'm pulling it in and out, you're rubbing right there. So you're creating a friction point where eventually, yeah, you're going to have the cord snap and do exactly what happened there. You can see it all unwound and shriveled. So just that constant pulling did that. And it was funny because I went to the store to price new generators to see if I can get one quickly. And this same size one they carry Generac brand, which is a lot more expensive. But it was crazy because it was the exact same design flaw there. And ironically, all of the control features and the different components of the generator and everything looked identical on that Generac to this Win. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's just some factory in China that just makes all these components for all these generator companies, and they're the same one. You know, Wen paints their components blue and Generac paints theirs orange, but I'm betting they're pretty much the same machine. So I'm thinking if this one dies, because I've already got like 91 hours on this guy, so I don't know how much longer it's going to last. I'm hoping it can just get me through the cabin build project. But if so, I'm probably going to take this off and keep it, because if some of these parts are universal like that, might as well keep them around as spares for the next one. Because it wasn't enough to just exchange the cord, because when I pulled this assembly off of there, I had put I tried, I'm like, hey, I got some paracord here that'll fit, I'll try that. But you see, when I pull it out, it doesn't rewind back in. And that's because up underneath this, when you take this apart, there's a spring assembly in there that was crooked and bent up and wasn't working right. So I'm guessing that when the cord snapped, it caused something, it caused it to unwind or something, and that spring got screwed up. So maybe that's not a bad idea for your generator to just buy one of these. I was able to get it for about 15 bucks on eBay. It took me a week to get to, but maybe having one on as a spare wouldn't hurt. And I'm thinking maybe in the future I may go for one that has the electronic push start to it instead, so I'm not weakening this. Because I know the one my dad's got has that push start, but also has this as a backup too, in case that's not working. But then when you go with that electronic push start, you probably then also have to get a trickle charge or a battery maintainer to keep the internal battery in that ready to go. Got my turn signal problem fixed. A shop was able to take care of that for me. So what was going on? Let me turn this blinker off. I had, of course, diagnosed the bulb, and the socket looked fine. So then I looked underneath the driver's seat. There's a fuse box under there, and I had looked. There's the rear parking lamps. Check those. They were fine, nothing wrong. So it seemed that check the grounds and the wires. Everything seemed like it should be okay. So when I took it in, he looked it over and he pulled up on the computer. He showed me the software they got, which he said costs 250 bucks a month. I think it's just a ridiculous amount of money, but I guess for a shop it really comes in handy. But he can pull up the schematic for this vehicle and then press right on where the rear turn signal is, and it lights up any wires that lead from it to somewhere else. It was a pretty cool piece of software. But one of the wires was going to what's called the body control module. And he thought, well, maybe the body control module's out. But then from there, There's it goes to a few fuses that are not in this box here. They're actually up in the engine compartment, down in there. So you look on that, you can see them labeled body control module 574. There's like half a dozen of them in here. And one of those was what was blown and causing the problem. So it seems to me like they're just these modern vehicles. They're making the electrical systems in them so complex that even something that should be simple to fix, like a turn signal, is something you've got to go to a shop to have diagnosed and fixed, because it's crazy. Whether it's a generator or a vehicle like this, I just wish they would stop adding new features and just work on what they have, making them as simple and reliable as they can be, more robust parts. But I guess the general buying public is asking for the more fancy features. They want high Wi-Fi hotspots and seats that massage your butt and all this useless crap. But then they go to the shop and wonder why everything costs so much money to get fixed. And it's like, well, you wanted more fancy features. You got them, and now you got to pay to get them fixed.